Welcome back. In this training video, we'll learn how to set up, use, and edit the chart of accounts. So let's get started. The chart of accounts form can be found in the Accounting and Finance main menu, then in the General Ledger submenu, which displays the chart of accounts menu icon in the functional menu. The form can also be accessed by typing COA into the menu code entry area of the FOURA navigator. The chart of accounts is where we set up the unique natural accounting codes that we want to use to track our assets, liabilities, equity, revenues, and expenses by. We'll just refer to these natural accounting codes as accounts for the remainder of this training video. Every financial transaction entered into FOURA requires an account. Additionally, we can set up sub-accounts that are related to the accounts, and when used in transactions, provide further granularity in reporting. And on the chart of accounts form, you can see there's one tab for account and another for sub-accounts. FOURA comes out of the box with a standard chart of accounts, but your company's specific chart of accounts can easily be imported into FOURA. And your company has the flexibility to tailor its chart of accounts to best suit its needs over time. Like many forms in FOURA, the chart of accounts form has a quick filter at the top that can be used to easily filter the records. As you can see, the default quick filter is set to active when the form is open, showing 203 active accounts. We can use the quick filter to include or exclude certain records. For example, if we want to filter for all accounts, we can simply select the word all in the quick filter. Now we see that we have a total of 207 records. We can also filter just for the cash accounts by selecting the down arrow and selecting cash. Now we have 4 records by using the green arrows in the footer section of the form that we can scroll through to take a look at each of the 4 cash accounts. Let's go back and filter for all accounts. And then let's filter for a specific account. We can simply type in account 1100 into the quick filter and press the tab button or the enter button on the keyboard to view account 1100, accounts receivable. Alternatively, if we know the name of the account or part of the name, we can type that into the quick filter as well, using an asterisk or a wildcard. This results in 9 records being returned based on our wildcard search in the quick filter. Just a side note, if you want to learn more about filter syntax, please look up the filter syntax topic in the FOURA help file. Now that we've gone over navigating the chart of accounts form, let's create a new account called Software Subscriptions. To add a new account, select the plus button at the top of the form, and a blank add form will appear. To set up an account, there are 3 required fields that are identified by a yellow triangle to the right of each field. These are the 3 fields that need to be filled out before the account can be saved. In the account field, type the desired account number, which for our example will be 6211. In the descriptions field, type in Software Subscriptions, and leave the active box checked. The fields below the account description are setup fields that are used for financial reporting to control certain account processes. The account type is used to assign the type of account you're setting up, whether it's going to be used to track activity related to an asset, a liability, equity, revenue, or expense. For this example, select the drop-down arrow on the account type field and choose expense. The next 3 fields control where the charges in this account will show up on the financial statements. That's the balance sheet and the income statement, also known as the P&L. Since this is an expense type account, we don't want to show it on the balance sheet, so we'll leave the balance sheet line field blank. For the P&L line box, we need to assign where we want to see the charges for the account on the summary income statement. For this example, we'll select OE for operating expenses. For the P&L detail line box, we need to assign where we want to see the charges for this account on the detailed income statement. So we'll select HWSW for hardware and software. The next field is the account group, which provides choices for controlling how certain transaction posts and how charges show up on the cash flow statement. For this account, it is not applicable. The currency field is used in multi-currency environments, and if left blank, it defaults to US dollars. The consolidation account is an open entry data dimension field that can be used to group accounts and related charges in a way other than standard financial reports. It is also not required for this demo. The efficiency type can be used for P&L accounts to assign whether or not the nature of a particular account is normally considered fixed or variable in nature. This would be used in performing various margins or break-even analysis. The next 3 fields are the accumulated depreciation account, the depreciation expense account, and the depreciation useful life in months are used only for capital asset account setup and control how depreciation is posted for items assigned to each capital asset account. To learn more about these controls, see our tutorial on capital assets or the account group topic in FOURA help. Next to the accounts tab is the sub-accounts tab. Let's take this opportunity to discuss how sub-accounts can be used with accounts. Let's say that you want a little more granularity in your software subscription tracking between sales-related software subscriptions and other administrative software subscriptions. We can add as many sub-accounts for this account as desired. Note that sub-accounts are unique to the account they're set up with. However, it's a good practice to standardize sub-accounts and set them up in a systemic methodology. For our purposes, we're going to set up 2 sub-accounts for our new account. We've decided to use sub-account 100 for the sales-related software subscriptions and sub-account 200 for all their administrative software. So now we'll enter 100 in the sub-account field and sales into the description. Now we'll select the plus button to add a new row to the grid and enter 200 in the sub-account field and other administrative in the description. Now we'll select the save icon to save the record. In future transactions for this account code, we now have the ability to assign the appropriate sub-account depending on the type of software subscription charge. Let's go back to the Accounts tab. Now we'll take a look at the posting requirement controls. When the box is checked for a particular item, postings to source documents and/or the general ledger will be required. For example, if we leave the first item's sub-account left unchecked, we could either enter a sub-account on a transaction to account 6211 or leave it blank. On the other hand, if the box is checked, then all transaction entries for account 6211 will require a sub-account to be entered. We'll check this box as this is our intent of setting up a separate sub-account. If the subledger only box is checked, then only system entries that are generated from a subledger will be allowed to post to the general ledger for this account. This means that no manual journal entries are allowed. This is useful for accounts like accounts receivable to ensure that the subledger is always in sync with the general ledger. The next 4 options are customer, supplier, employee, and quantity. If one of these boxes are checked, then entries to the account will be required for each transaction. For our particular account, we'll check the supplier box, because we want every transaction posted to software subscriptions to have the supplier name for reporting and analysis later. Now let's look at the valid for module controls. These controls whether or not the account can be used for purchasing, accounts payable, or accounts receivable. For our account, it's possible that we'll issue a purchase order for a software subscription, and it's assumed that we'll be entering supplier invoices and accounts payable, so we'll check those 2 boxes. It would be unlikely that this account would be used on accounts receivable invoice, so we'll leave that box unchecked. In the Usage Notes field at the bottom of the form, we can enter some brief text on what the account is used for or other relevant notes. This is so others viewing the chart of accounts can use the field to determine where to properly code transactions. Before we leave, let's take a quick look at the Browse Accounts form. The Browse Accounts form can be found on the Accounting and Finance main menu, then in the General Ledger sub-menu, which displays the Browse Accounts menu icon. The form can also be accessed by typing BCA in the menu code entry area in the FOURA Navigator. The Browse Accounts form is useful in viewing the entire chart of accounts in a grid format. This form is for viewing only, but we can drill down to the individual accounts from this form. To do this, hover the mouse over the account you want to view and with the left click of the mouse select the drill-in icon to view this specific account. We think you'll find the Browse form very useful and powerful as you audit and make changes to your chart of accounts as your business grows. Well, that wraps up this tutorial. Please be sure to check out additional tutorials to learn more about FOURA's powerful features, processes, and tips. Thanks for watching.